Think about this. Conservative, Bible-believing Christians who believe that the Bible is the Word of God, who believe that Christ is King of kings and Lord of lords. It's ironic that people would use that phrase and then say that Jesus has nothing to do with politics. You know who kings are? You know who lords are? They're political figures. He's the King of kings. He's the Lord of lords. We believe that wholeheartedly, that the Bible is true. It is the Word of God. And at the same time, we believe either in political nihilism that stuff over there is corrupt, it doesn't matter, can't get any better, or, somehow political Pelagianism, they'll figure it out without the Word of God. And then on the other hand, there are people who have corrupt doctrine, who do not believe the Bible is the Word of God, who are governed by other philosophies and theologies, who are allowed to run rampant and promote their theology as the one that teaches the magistrate how to govern. God help us. God help us. So what does that look like? We have a perfect example of that. There is right now. And this is a controversial thing, and I think it's so funny that this is a controversial thing among Christians. Right now we got, there's a monument in Washington, D.C. to a pastor that nobody thinks of as a pastor. Why? Because he's part of the political syncretism movement, combining the pulpit and politics in such a way that he is known not for his preaching, but for his I have a dream speech. Isn't it amazing that in a country where today, if someone who believes the Bible gets involved in some of these issues, the immediate response is, you need to be quiet and go back where you came from, but there's a monument to a pastor in D.C. Why? Because he wasn't about the gospel. That's why. He's a political figure. That's why. And the legacy that he has left is the legacy of the Jesse Jacksons and Al Sharptons of the world, who hold the title Reverend over black people's heads so that they can be trusted religious figures and do things politically that run completely counter to the gospel. But that's what happens. And all of a sudden, it's like, there's political syncretism, and we got to, that's what they're doing over there. We got to stay over here. We can't speak to that issue. And now we have an entire legacy. By the way, why do I bring this up? Because I just want to, be messy and say stuff that's controversial? No. I want you to watch this very carefully. What was the essence of Dr. King's theology and political philosophy? It was black liberation theology, which is rooted in Marxism. Now, black liberation theology rooted in Marxism led to the growth of his movement and the growth of these men who call themselves pastors only so they can hold sway in the black political community. Why is that significant? Well, one of the sons of that movement is a pastor by the name of Jeremiah Wright. Jeremiah Wright stands in the tradition of Martin Luther King, black liberation theology, an open Marxist who discipled a man for 20 years who is now our president, who is currently operating in accordance with black liberation theology and Marxism, exercising his theology and his faith in the office of the president.